Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. You're still watching Prime Live. Now, this evening we have Yasser Mookadam, who is the Managing Director of Yusra Tours, and he's also an experienced person in the Hajj and Umrah tourism industry. Now, Mr. Mookadam is well placed to provide insights in the transition to Nusuk for Hajj applications in South Africa, and he will also shed light on the impact of this change on, prospective pilgrims and tour agencies, and how we can also navigate these new developments as a community. Jazakallah so much for joining us, Yasser Mookadam, and welcome to Prime Live.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Shukran for having me on the show.
Jazakallah so much. Now, for the benefit of those who may not be aware of the latest developments, could you please provide a brief overview of the transition to Nusuk for Hajis in South Africa and what actually this means for the pilgrims?
So as many of you have heard or may have not heard, the normal system that we were accustomed to via SAHUK and the accreditation process has now changed. South African Hujjaj were under what we call Hujjaj under a Hajj mission, and our Hajj mission was SAHUK. The ministry has now changed this, and we are now a country under Nusuk. So what this means now is that in the past, Hujjaj used to apply to SAHUK for accreditation and wait 6 to 7 or 8 years for their names to come out, and then they have to book with an accredited operator and select their packages and then go for Hajj. However, this system has changed completely. It's a totally new system. It's part of the Saudis' Vision 2030 system, and it was inevitable, whether it was coming this year or next year. It's something that was coming. This is the plan that the Saudis want to have the system and roll out for the entire world. So what this also means is that the accreditation system now falls away. Those who are most disadvantaged are those who were probably waiting 6 to 7 years and were about to be accredited this year, and their names were going to come out this year to go for Hajj. But unfortunately now this entire accreditation process with SAHUK would now fall away, and pilgrims would now have to apply on the new Nusuk system registration that is open actually today. So Hujjaj are urged to go into this system, those who want to go for Hajj 2026. The Nusuk system works not like the SAHUK system where one could apply for Hajj and say wants to go for Hajj in the next 3 or 4 years. It's per year. So if you intend to go for Hajj 2026, one has to go on the system, apply, follow the steps, and once you apply, it doesn't work on a first come first serve basis. The system then collects all the data and uses an algorithm at a later stage to select and throw out the names of those who will be accepted to go for Hajj 2026.
Thank you so much for that explanation. Now, Mr. Mookadam, with the transition to Nusuk for Hajj in South Africa, what are the challenges that tour agencies like yours are facing, and how are you planning to adapt to these changes?
So firstly, for us, for travel agencies, where it affects us the most is not able to sell the actual product now to the Hujjaj. Actual product meaning the hotels, the transportation, the meals, all those elements that form part of the Hajj. However, we would work closely with Nusuk as more agents now would be more as consultants, assisting Hujjaj and on guiding them how to book and what to book. We are obviously engaging with different Nusuk companies on how agents could play a role in assisting the pilgrims, how our role could be with Nusuk in managing future Hujjaj in doing their booking, and how agents could possibly join Hujjaj on their tours to assist them, because as we know, the South African Hujjaj are accustomed to having a mutawaf or a qadim or a guide, on their trip, where they would meet them at the airports, take them for their orientation walks, for their group ziyaras. So we would obviously engage with Nusuk and advise them that this is what South Africans are accustomed to. South Africans are accustomed to the 6 weeks packages where they spend 10 nights in Medina, 9 nights in Medina, and not the current module which they have for 21 days where Hujjaj spend 4 or 5 nights in Medina. And remember, this module that they have is created for Europe and the US market, who generally go for these packages. So it's not that Nusuk, it's not all gloom and doom where Nusuk will come and impose a package to say you South Africans have to take a 20-day package. They have based the 20-day package based on the module of what the European markets go for. So obviously they would engage with certain operators, and operators will be engaging with different companies, and we would guide them to what the South Africans are accustomed to. And obviously we would also have to assist them and assist the judge with the ticketing as well.
Mm. And many prospective pilgrims may feel very concerned about the application process through Nusuk. And what guidance and support do you think that Yusra Tours can offer to make this experience more smooth and stress-free as possible for them?
Look, it's a fairly straightforward registration. I myself went on today to register, to navigate the system. It's basically a website, filling in your personal details, uploading your passport copy, uploading a photo, personal addresses. There's a questionnaire that you need to answer accurately, and you submit it, and that is basically the registration phase. After the registration phase, I think within 2 months they will release all those who were accepted, and then they would release different Nusuk companies worldwide that are accredited by the Ministry of Hajj. And those agencies or Nusuk companies, you will be able to click on their links and see their different packages. You will then be able to select a package with 3 different categories: basic, premium, and economy. And you would have about a month to view these packages before you actually have to create a wallet and pay for these packages. We at Yusra Tours, you can contact us. Follow our WhatsApp groups where we will be guiding the public on how to navigate the system. It's a new system for all, for us as well. Many people are confused and think it's the same Nusuk system that they're currently using, the app where they used to book the Rhoda bookings, or where the current Nusuk system that they have. It's a totally different system, although that is also called Nusuk, the Nusuk app. It's a totally different system. This is the B2C system now. And we are speaking at influential people in the community to open maybe 2 or 3 24-hour call centers with systems and computers to assist people, for those who may not, are not so, who may not be so clued up on using the system, who can come in and people to assist them in the application.
Mm. And there's also been, much discussion about the temporary decrease in quotas for South African pilgrims under Nusuk. Based on your experience and knowledge, how likely is it that the quota will be increased in the future? And also, when might the pilgrims expect to see this change?
So this is, I think, the most concerning element that came out from the breaking news about the Nusuk system, was the decrease in quota from 2,500 pilgrims to 1,140. But engaging with our contacts in the Ministry of Hajj, we also engaging with DIRCO and speaking to the Nusuk companies. And how the system works is, there is a great possibility and a great chance that this quota will increase to even more than what we were currently accustomed to of 2,500. So the Nusuk system rolls out in different stages. So it rolls out in phase 1, where we will have our 1,140. Once those packages are booked and confirmed, the Nusuk company can go to the ministry and say South Africa has finished the 1,140 allocation. We still have place for another 10 or 20,000. Could we give South Africa an increase of another 1,000 or 2,000? For example, last year, many countries, but I'm just giving us one example of Netherlands, the official quota was 850 on the B2C Nusuk system. At the end, they sent 3,000 Hujjaj. based on, countries not using their quota or not utilizing their full quota. And it's very important that all Hujjaj who plan to go for Hajj in 2026 register on this Nusuk system, so that the Minister of Hajj can see the amount of people that are interested in going for Hajj for 2026.
Mm. And we also know that the SAHUK has played a very vital role in the Hajj and Umrah arrangements in South Africa for many years. How do you now foresee SAHUK's involvement in the new process?
Look, one should not downplay or criticize SAHUK. What they've done for the last few years was a phenomenal job, in the sense of the accreditation system. The program that they've designed is phenomenal. It's a fair system, where first timers get accredited. They have offered great groundwork. Agents have worked hand in hand with them on the ground for years. Their medical clinic, they support in the kingdom, and Hujjaj and agents will tell you. So, one cannot just say, so goodbye, SAHUK is gone, and let's forget about them. However, their role in this might also be with the fact that the Nusuk system has come in. Currently, it's a very hard. There is possibly currently no role for them in this, as the B2C system is what it actually means is direct system to the public.
Mm. And I mean, you mentioned that, I mean, in the beginning of the interview, that also those who have now been maybe accredited before would now have to go through the system again, for accreditation because of the new system. But then what about, or what happens to those who were on the waiting list for years? Does this mean that they would have to, also get into the new system? Can you provide any insight into the future of, the Hajj waiting list in South Africa, and how will the pilgrims that were on the list be impacted by this change?
So unfortunately, the SAHUK system, the accreditation system, where everybody is in the queue, whether it's, I think, 40 or 50,000 people, this entire system falls away. So even if you were in line to be accredited for the upcoming Hajj, this entire system falls away. So whether you had applied this year or 8 years ago, one would have to now, unfortunately, this is the only difficult part about the new transition, is that one would have to reapply on the new Nusuk system. And it's almost like a lotto, and hope that your name comes through on this new system.
Mm. I mean, just in closing, also, how would you encourage, prospective pilgrims and the broader South African Muslim community to maintain hope and optimism as we navigate these new changes?
Look, first and foremost, as Muslims, we need to have tawakkul, which is, put trust in Allah. And we have to have trust in Allah. And we have to understand that everything and anything in life can only happen and has only happened by the will of Allah. That's first and foremost. It's not all doom and gloom. Ultimately, a person that goes for Hajj is a calling. It is an invitation. So whether you have a person that has applied 10 years ago and it's waiting in the queue for 10 years, or a person who has been on multiple Hajjas, say 20 Hajjas in a row, if your invitation is there, if your name is written in Arafat, if Allah has sent out your invitation, no system can stop that. So ultimately, as Muslims, we have to be resilient and, get through this. We've been through COVID, and it's a system that's was always going to come. So we just have to navigate it, and inshallah, hopefully our quota can get increased and decrease the numbers that are in the queue, inshallah.
Inshallah. I mean, Mr. Yasser Mookadam, Jazakallah so much for joining us. But before we do let you go, is there any particular or important information that we might have missed that you'd like to say to our viewers watching now?
I think I've covered everything. All I would like to say is to the South African Muslim community is, have patience. It's not all doom and gloom. We can get through this together. We are here to assist Hujjaj, inshallah. And personally from myself, I would urge Hujjaj out there that for those who have been for Hajj last year or within the last 3 to 5 years, to give chance and not apply and give chance to those who have never been for Hajj, who were waiting in the queue for many years, as this is quite unfair to them.
I mean, Jazakallah so much for your time.
Shukran for having me.
Viewers at home, that was Yasser Mookadam, who is the managing director at Yusra Tours, and we're just speaking about navigating the new Hajj application process. And I think this was very insightful in terms of navigating the new system, which is Nusuk, and how it will affect people that were already on a waiting list or people that had already been accredited, and just a new way for us to adapt in hopes for change, or rather so that this conversation can make it easy for those who might have been wondering what happens in terms of the Hajj process, and the people that have been stressing about this important issue. But viewers at home, let's head over to a quick break. We'll see you right after this.